The Valley Boys battle intensifies. First tonight, seed funding and shack control at stake. One faction says no amount of talk will help. The contentious rift escalates. And back to school still in focus tonight as an educators' union clashes with the minister over claims of delays and unpaid promotions. Plus, deal or no deal? The tourism minister plays it close to the vest. He says no updates on Grand Lucayan's sale until the deal is done. Then in Our News at 7:30, a sibling smackdown. A brother allegedly takes a swing at his brother with a metal bat. The incident lands him behind bars. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. As the battle for seed funding intensifies, the power struggle between two factions of the Valley Boys is heating up. The dispute has now moved beyond the rights to the group's name, plunging into a contentious debate over control of a crucial shack. Marlena Leonard has the latest in the unfolding drama.
The lease has not been renewed for the last 14 years, and in a quest for transparency and accountability, we thought we would do the right thing by going and seeking the legal documents to allow us Valley Boys to partake in this premises.
Those allegations coming mere hours after Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg announced Junkanoo seed funding would be withheld for the Valley Boys until a meeting this Sunday with members from both Valley Boys groups, Junkanoo officials, and other stakeholders. Deputy Chair of the world-famous Valley Boys, Francisco Cooper, particularly upset by the unfolding drama and the impact it's having on the group his father, Winston Gus Cooper, devoted his life to.
It doesn't sit well with the Valley Boys. And this will not be the end of it. You're going to see my face more now. This only gives me encouragement to move forward and kick some. But we're not going to stop. We have a lot of has-beens around here today who believe they have the answer for everything. It doesn't go that way. You have your legal team, we have our legal team. Best man wins.
Senior Management Team Representative Patrick Adderley sharing strong feelings about the way things have publicly unfolded.
You know, what is happening here is very, very distasteful, and it's not representative of the way Valley Boys conduct their business. You know, airing out our dirty laundry in the public domain. This band of this renegade faction is determined to take over the group by whatever means necessary. And so there's no amount of talking, there's no amount of overtures that's going to deter them from that.
Still, Davis claims it didn't have to be this way.
The reason we are where we are today, the reason you guys are here with the camera and the mic now, is because the other side refused to sit down when we went with them to them 2 years ago.
The culture minister was firm that there will not be two sets of seed funding in a worst-case scenario. Now only days away from Sunday's meeting, the future of one of the most renowned Junkanoo groups of all time hangs in the balance. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, thanks so much for that, Marlena. And we've got public reaction coming up in Our News at 7:30. Well, the start of the school year this fall has been met with a host of challenges, according to President of the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union, who highlights that the persistent problem of inadequate school repairs remains at the forefront. Berthany McDermott reports how the recurring issue continues to impact teachers and school facilities annually.
Another school year hampered by delays in school repairs, according to Bahamas Educators Managerial Union President Stephen McPhee. But earlier this week, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin sang a different tune on Monday, saying all schools reopened on time with no major issues. McPhee says the issues didn't take him by surprise, but making matters worse was the wild weather over the weekend.
All of the main sort of work regarding inside classrooms and preparation to at least accept students, I think in most cases have been satisfied. However, on some sites there is still some work like paving new parking lots and the rest of it. And so some of those things have been put off until the weekend.
McPhee serves as a facility manager for 19 schools in New Providence, all of Long Island, Grand Bahama, and Abaco. He says they've had meetings and discussions to try to resolve the issue.
As it relates to the different arms of government trying to collaborate and organize all vehicles to ensure that we can maximize the time used for repairs, i.e., repairs would be Ministry of Works, Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Education. And so, there has been some discussions and recommendations from the union's perspective on how we believe we could maximize the use of resources, inclusive of time.
But that's not the only issue confronting the Educators Managerial Union. McPhee says they've been pushing for a change in policies for promotions. The union head says for years his members have been working in elevated positions without salary increases that's been extended for years.
Latest last week, in a joint meeting, our position has been accepted, and going forward, that should not be a challenge for us anymore. And that is going to impact greatly the available resources of managers and leaders, also their morale at the beginning and opening of school.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. A 65-year-old American man has died after allegedly being knocked unconscious and thrown overboard by a large wave off Abaco's coast. Police say they received the call around 5 p.m. Tuesday when the boat from Guanaqui docked at Green Turtle Key, with the man found unconscious and severely injured. Medics confirmed his death. Now, witnesses reported that the man, who police say was one of 4 people on the boat, was struck by a wave, causing him to hit his head and fall overboard. The case is under investigation by Abaco police, with an autopsy planned to determine the exact cause of death. And the Court of Appeal has reserved judgment in the case of a man who was arrested with 5 guns, 11 rounds of ammunition, and 2.5 pounds of marijuana after a high-speed chase. Arizona Roll is appealing his convictions for firearm possession with intent to supply, possession of ammunition, and drugs with the intent to supply. Police found the contraband in a box in Roll's car on December 2nd, 2022. Roll was sentenced to 7 years for the guns. He was also ordered to serve a 3-year sentence for the ammunition that will be served at the same time, and fined $7,500 for the drugs. Roll's lawyer, David Cash, argued the 7-year sentence was too severe and the conviction wasn't supported by evidence. Prosecutor Darnell Dorsett argued the convictions were safe and asked for the sentence to be upheld. And 4 new judges have been added to the Supreme Court. There are quite a few familiar faces among the appointees, who include Andrew McKinney, Darren Ellis, Constance Delancey, and Lettiff Farquharson KC. McKinney's appointment took effect on Monday. Ellis's appointment is effective September 16th, while Delancey and Farquharson's appointments will be effective November this year and January 2025, respectively. The appointments were made by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission and sent to the Governor General. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Magistrate responsible for the Northern Region, Debbie Ferguson, will be laid to rest Thursday at 11 a.m. following a funeral at St. Agnes Anglican Church in New Providence. In January 2003, Ferguson entered the judiciary as a stipendiary and circuit magistrate assigned to the Northern Region. She then moved up through the ranks and was promoted to Deputy Chief Magistrate in 2015. Recently, those within the legal profession, as well as other high-ranking officials, paid their respects in a public viewing for the former Deputy Chief Magistrate at the Supreme Court in Grand Bahama.
Debbie was the first attorney I worked with here in Grand Bahama at the Office of the Attorney General. She was someone that gave me a lot of guidance as a new and young attorney. She was always there to help, to lead, to guide, to teach. She was a good colleague, and she also became a good friend.
She was a lovely person. Like I used to be the interpreter at the court for all the courts. And as I knew her, she was a lovely person, very kind and compassionate person. And she will be missed to the community.
And Chief Social Worker in the Department of Social Services, Pauline Bowen Forbes, recalls her time working with the late Deputy Chief Magistrate.
She has been, personally to me, she's given some guidance as well as in a professional manner. I must say that she was well respected and she will be missed, especially by us at the Department of Social Services. She's always been willing to work with us, even beyond the 5 p.m. hours, and for that we are truly grateful.
And still on Grand Bahama, less than a week after it was revealed that Prime Minister Philip Davis met with a prospective buyer for Grand Lucayan Hotel, Tourism Minister Chester Cooper is remaining tight-lipped about a future sale. The Minister administration purchased the Grand Lucayan from Hutchinson Whampoa in August 2018 for $65 million. It was a controversial buy and came amid strong opposition from the Progressive Liberal Party. In November 2022, the Davis administration announced a high-profile agreement to sell the resort to Electra America Hospitality Limited for $100 million, but that deal ultimately fell through. And since then, selling the government-owned property has proven challenging for the Davis administration. Today, we pressed the tourism minister for an update, but Cooper says he's not prepared to say much on the issue.
I will repeat one more time. I will make no statement on Grand Lucayan until the money is in the bank. So if you don't hear a statement from me, that means the money ain't in the bank yet. We're hopeful, we're optimistic, there are good prospects.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kenino. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. It has been a very warm day around the islands. Heat indices in the triple digits, so if you had any plans for the outdoors, make sure you did drink a lot of water. 88 degrees is our current temperature. Few clouds. It is very warm. Southeast winds at 50 miles per hour. Factoring in the relative humidity, it feels like a very warm 97 degrees on the outside. It's 86 in Freeport right now, and in Allenstown, Bimini, 85 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 87s in Nicholstown, Andros, and in Great Harbor Key. Here in the capital, Governor's Harbor, both 88s. Into the Central Bahamas, 88 in Kemps Bay. Pick up 86s once again, Arthurstown, Cat Island. Georgetown, the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Island. Coburntown, San Salvador, 85, and into the Southeast Bahamas. 86s in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, and in Providenciales. Delectable Bay and Abrams Bay, guys are 85. And Matthewtown did now go deep south. Temperature right now at 87 degrees. Sideline radar composite, high pressure is in charge at the surface and aloft, providing us with some dry air mass and mostly cloud-free skies. So it's been very warm. And of course, we do have a heat advisory for the islands. A couple isolated showers up near the northern islands, but most of all, it's going to stay rather dry and a little bit on the breezy side for the next day or so. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come in our news, going back in time from 38 years to first hit. Antoine Richardson's MLB debut marks a milestone for Bahamian baseball. 10th year seniors reflects coming up in Our Sports at 7. Stay with us.
Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support. engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. Internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
This video needs to show us on a different.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. 38 years. That's a long time. Not as long as the Dolphins Super Bowl drought, but a long time nonetheless. 38 years was the gap between Will Culmer suiting up for his last game in the MLB and Anton Richardson making his MLB debut on September 4th, 2011. The Atlanta Braves made the call, and Richardson made his debut on this date 13 years ago against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Of course, as luck would have it, he faced that season's Triple Crown and Cy Young winner, Clayton Kershaw, on the hill. But just like the crescendo of a good Disney movie, Richardson got his first hit in his first at-bat, a single off Kershaw. He was the bridge between baseball generations in the Bahamas, followed by the MLB call-up of Jazz Chisholm in 2020 and Lucius Fox in 2022. That was back then. Here's what's coming up on Our Sports tonight. Anton Richardson discusses his job nowadays outside the foul lines as a coach and the future of Bahamians exploring the business of baseball. The UB Mingos opened their cross-country season on the road in Florida.
We really took it on this as competitive, more competitive than it was last year. However, we didn't perform as I expected. We performed much better last year, and it's a lot of work we have to do now to get back on track.
The Bahamas men's baseball program jumps 12 spots in the World Baseball Softball Confederation rankings, and the Bahamas Football Association looks to certify a new group of coaches into its programs. That'll do it for Our Sports at 7. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as chaos at a Georgia high school. A gunman opens fire. 4 dead, multiple injured, a suspect in custody. Plus, the UK Prime Minister defends the suspension of arms sales to Israel, citing humanitarian concerns. And the Haitian Prime Minister announces a joint operation with Kenyan forces to combat Port-au-Prince insecurity. The story when Our News returns.
My name is Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. Internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. A gunman opened fire at a school in Winder, Georgia on Wednesday morning. CNN reports the incident resulted in at least 4 deaths and multiple injuries. The school was placed on lockdown and students were evacuated to a designated safe zone. Police say they have one suspect in custody, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is assisting with the ongoing investigation. Emergency responders treated the wounded, with some injuries occurring during the evacuation. The White House says President Joe Biden has been briefed and is coordinating with local officials.
I'm shocked because, this is Barrow County and stuff like this never happens here. So it's shocking. A lot of kids are in shock and crying, and parents, because we didn't think this would ever happen here. Yeah.
When you went and saw your child, you give him a big hug?
Yes, a big hug. That's why I tell my kid, I say, always pray before you go to school. Always pray, because it's very important to pray. Going to school, during school, after school, whatever you do, just pray, because you never know, when stuff like this going to happen. Be protected by God.
Of Israeli hostages held in Gaza protested outside the Likud party headquarters in Tel Aviv on Wednesday, urging Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to secure their release. Public anger has grown since the bodies of 6 hostages were recovered from Gaza tunnels last week, with criticism directed at Netanyahu's handling of negotiations. Frustration has also spread to Israel's allies, including the United States, as efforts to reach a ceasefire for hostages deal remains stalled. Meanwhile, Hamas says they have not received a new proposal and blame Netanyahu for the deaths of the recovered hostages. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer defended the UK's suspension of some arms sales to Israel during Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday. He clarified that the decision, which limits arms exports licenses, was due to concerns that the equipment could be used in violation of international humanitarian law. Starmer reiterated the UK's support for Israel's right to self-defense. He also addressed the recent tragedy in which at least 12 migrants died after their boat capsized in the Channel, calling the incident shocking and deeply tragic.
Let me be very clear about that. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We absolutely recognise and support Israel's right to self-defence and have taken action in support of that right of self-defence. And I've made that repeatedly clear in all of my engagements with Israel across the region and with all of our allies. I absolutely stand by that.
And Haitian Prime Minister Gary Conille announced recently that the National Police and Kenyan forces have launched a joint operation to combat insecurity in Port-au-Prince. Conille made the statement outside a hospital where he visited 3 officers and 2 civilians injured during an operation in the Bel Air neighborhood. The 400 Kenyan police officers leading a UN-mandated mission are the first international contingent to arrive in Haiti, aiming to tackle armed gangs controlling much of the capital. The ongoing conflict has displaced nearly 600,000 people and left almost 5 million facing severe hunger. Still to come in Our News, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was September 4th. Then in Our News at 7:30, Valley Boys' power struggle sparks community reactions as residents weigh in on name, shot control, and seed funding. And class is back in session. McLeanstown students return home as the school reopens after a 5-year hiatus. When Our News returns.
I'm Trevor Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trevor Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1971, Mark Knowles was born in Nassau. Knowles is a former tennis player and winner of 3 men's doubles Grand Slam titles with Canadian Daniel Nestor in Australia 2002, US Open 2005, and Roland Garros in 2007. He also won the mixed doubles championship at Wimbledon with Annalena Grönfeld of Germany in 2009. His career spanned 20 years from 1992 to 2012, and he represented the Bahamas in the Davis Cup as well as the Summer Olympic Games. Then in 2001, Joan Sawyer became the first Bahamian woman president of the Court of Appeal and served until November 26, 2010. Also in 2001, a fire engulfed the Nassau Straw Market on Bay Street, completely destroying the structure and several other surrounding buildings. The fire broke out around 3:30 p.m. in the market and spread quickly to the west on Bay Street before being contained. There were no reported injuries. Days later, Courtney Gardner was arrested and charged with 4 counts of arson. And finally, in 2015, then Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder approved the appointment of a joint provisional liquidator, granting the government's application for 3 professionals from Chris Global and Alex Partner Services UK to oversee the affairs of Bahamar. Winder said at the time, the evidence presented to the court, it was clear Bahamar was insolvent. Winder struck out the government's original winding up petition, which was filed by the Attorney General on July 16th. Bahamar filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. District of Delaware on June 29th.
All right, to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena?
Thanks, Ken. Well, the Valley Boys' power struggle sparks community reactions as residents weigh in. And class is back in session as McLeanstown Primary School reopens after a 5-year hiatus. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, the power struggle escalates as the 2 factions of the Valley Boys move from arguments over the group's name to control of the main shack. We're bringing you fan reactions to the ongoing drama. And 5 years later, McLeanstown Primary School reopens and welcomes students for the first time since being devastated by Hurricane Dorian. City in Focus, the story of Freeport continues as two well-known businessmen share their views on the ongoing debate between government and Grand Bahama Port Authority and its impact on the island. And later, feeling lost or searching for a spark of hope? Discover the transformative Prayer and Purpose Summit happening tomorrow night, designed to ignite your passion and guide your journey. Find out all you need to know when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
You could spend more, but why? Save with
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard. Reactions to the power struggle between two factions of the Valley Boys as uncertainty grows over the group's seed funding. Questions surrounding the group's name and control over the main shack amongst the growing rift that's all but paralyzed the Junkanoo group. Our Joshua Williams has reactions.
These are the sounds Valley Boy fans are looking forward to hearing in a few months. The question is, which version of the Valley Boys will show up? From as far back as May, the Way Forward Committee announced well-known promoter Trevor Davis as interim chairman, with the goal of holding elections next year. The group responded, denying any change in leadership, declaring Brian Adderley was still chairman. Labor Day and Independence Junkanoo parades made the split evident, with both sides performing separately. Through it all, fans are disappointed.
I think Gus Cooper is turning over in his grave as a result of the split that happened. I think, to me, I've never rushed, but as a spectator, I always favor the Valley Boys, and I am really disappointed.
I understand the legal part of it, right? But the claim and the fame goes to the Coopers. Come on.
On Tuesday, Culture Minister Mario Boleg announced the government was withholding seed money from both factions. Those funds helped to capitalize the group's preparations for the upcoming parades. This news had barely settled when Davis sent members a letter advising that the Adderley-led faction were served with legal notice to vacate the Claridge Road shack.
Of course. I won't give them nothing there, though. Until they find a name for the Valley and call it a day. The Valley is the Valley, and the one will break off. Let him go find himself a new name.
Now, I also asked residents what message this split could impart on young Junkanooers.
All these people who are supposed to be leaders and what's not, it's kind of discouraging.
Everybody power hungry. Everybody want that seed money to do whatever they need to do.
But not everyone is as vested, as expressed by this fan of the Saxon Superstars.
There's always going to be disagreements, no matter what kind of organization you're in. There are always going to be disagreements, but the good thing is we still have the two. The culture is still going to carry on.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
And the rights to the Valley Boys' Claridge Road shack, now an added layer to the ongoing power struggle between the two factions of the iconic Junkanoo group. Things seemingly heating up despite being only days away from the Sunday meeting with members from both Valley Boys groups, NJC and JCNP officials, as well as other stakeholders, that will determine the future of the Junkanoo seed funding currently being withheld from the group. Both interim president of the Way Forward Valley Boys and the deputy chair of the world-famous Valley Boys were at the Claridge Road Shack last night.
The lease has not been renewed for the last 14 years, and in a quest for transparency and accountability, we thought we would do the right thing by going and seeking the legal documents to allow us Valley Boys to partake in this premises.
This will not be the end of it. You're going to see my face more now. This only gives me encouragement to move forward. We're not going to stop. We have a lot of has-beens around here today who believe they have the answer for everything. It doesn't go that way. You have your legal team, we have our legal team. Best man wins.
Meanwhile, the prodigal sons was given $30,000 in Junkanoo seed money for the 2024-2025 Junkanoo season. This comes after the group was forced to return their $30,000 Junkanoo seed funding earlier this year for the 2023-2024 season after they failed to participate in the 2023 Boxing Day and 2024 New Year's parades. At the distribution of the funds yesterday, Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg describing this as a fresh start for the group.
They would have returned the funds as we would have asked last year, and so they're entitled to start afresh and receive the funding just like every other group.
Well, a tip led police in Grand Bahama to make an unusual find near a canal on Tuesday night. Thousands of dollars worth of illegal drugs. Police on the Northern Island say the hidden stash included 67.5 pounds of marijuana worth an estimated $67,500. It was around 8 p.m. after Drug Enforcement Unit officers searched bushes near the Grand Bahama Waterway. No one was arrested. And a fight between two brothers has landed one behind bars. 37-year-old Alexio Charlo is accused of beating his brother, Alex Charlo, in the head with a metal bat on August 28th. The incident took place at the brothers' home on Forg Avenue. Alex has since been released from the hospital. Alexio didn't have to enter a plea to the charge when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. Bail was denied, and he returns to court on February 6th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, some good news for the McLeanstown community in Grand Bahama as students return to classrooms this week for the first time in over 5 years. After Hurricane Dorian devastated the area, students had to commute to Freeport for their education. On Thursday, we visited the fully renovated school, now featuring new classrooms, handicap accessibility, a kitchen, and a large common space by the water. The Bahamas Department of Meteorology also has an office on campus. The school reopened on Monday with 15 students, with more expected to enroll. The school's principal, Simone Butler.
Yes, we have endured so much over the past 5 years, and yes, so much has been lost, but this is an opportunity to create something so new and so grand, and everyone in the East End community welcomes that notion that we have an opportunity, and that's why our theme for this school year is a new creation, because we have the power now. We have been given a solid base, and we have the power now to create an educational environment that is far superior to the one that was lost.
Teachers, faculty, and staff were also impacted by the school's closure. Teacher Ruby Ann Russell excited to return to her community.
It's a blessing to be back home. We were, since 2019, we were displaced, and we had to, at least I had to be in Freeport teaching at a junior high school, and it was amazing, but being home is better for me. I love being home, and just to see the rebuilding of this school is awesome, because years back we were actually in a different environment. Even the grounds were different, and now we have a paved road here now, so it's a completely different thing. It's nice to be in an air-conditioned room.
An urgent call for more focus on Braille literacy for visually impaired students. Acting principal of the Aaron H. Gilmore School for the Blind, Kevin Cartwright, sounding the alarm to Rotarians of the East Nassau Club today. He says these visually impaired students are being left out of national conversations on education, to the point where this small group may become illiterate if the problem isn't addressed soon.
This resistance to change places blind children at a disadvantage resulting in minimized focus on the acquisition of their Braille literacy skills. Recognizing this challenge, it is no doubt that many blind children end up leaving school without ever learning how to read and write Braille. Sad, isn't it?
The Salvation Army Aaron Gilmore School provides educational facilities for the blind and visually impaired. Since it opened in 1971, the school continues to be the only one of its kind for the visually impaired. Cartwright is calling for the same focus on literacy that's given to all other students.
It is important to understand that providing opportunities for students to explore their environment and to be exposed to real experiences set the stage for developing vocabulary, learning new concepts, and experiencing books and other forms of literature.
Well, it's time now for your first look at weather. Meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us now in studio. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Marlena. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. A very warm evening on the outside. 88 degrees is our current temperature after we got into the 90s. Few clouds, and it is warm. Southeast winds at 15 miles per hour. You feel slight temperature hovering near the 100-degree mark. Satellite radar composite. High pressure is in charge of our weather. That's continuing to provide us with some dry air mass and some almost cloud-free conditions, as well as shower-free. A couple isolated showers up near Grand Bahama, but that high pressure will remain in charge of our weather for the next couple of days. So we will continue those hot temperatures, heat indices in the triple digits, heat advisory still in place. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, City in Focus, the story of Freeport is back tonight. Well-known Grand Bahama businessmen share candid views on the island's economy. Find out their thoughts on the ongoing debate between government and the Port Authority. And tonight, we're shining the spotlight on one of our own. Find out how our top audio engineer and his wife are set to uplift your spirits and help guide you to your purpose at the Vault Kingdom Summit, when Our News returns.
Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I read you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. Energy 25 cents no more.
We continue our weekly series, City in Focus, the story of Freeport, sponsored by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, as we dive into the history of Freeport and the issues surrounding the city amid an ongoing back and forth between the private entity and government. We started the series with GBPA executives, but we now move into the community. Tonight, our Italia Hall speaks with two well-known businessmen who are sharing their candid views on the matter and how they impact on the island.
What happened when Sir Lyndon Tillett was the Prime Minister? Did they owe any money there? What happened when Hubert Ingham was the Prime Minister? Did they owe any money there?
Those are the questions well-known Grand Bahamian businessman David Wallace is asking following the ongoing debate between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Earlier this year, government demanded the port to pay them over $300 million, which they say they are owed based on a clause in the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. Government also claiming the payment is currently 5 years in arrears. The GBPA has said the demand is ill-founded. Wallace questions, how did government arrive to this amount, as well as the time period when the cost was incurred?
Because the time period they're talking about is during the pandemic. That's when the island of Grand Bahama was shut right down.
He says as a licensee of the GBPA, he believes the entity is supportive.
When we came across some bumps along the road where we couldn't afford our license fee, they gave it to us at 50% off. And so I've had an integral working with the Port Authority.
We also spoke to another businessman in the community, Darren Cooper, who shared similar views. He and Wallace maintains their views are in no way political, as they are Grand Bahamians first.
This is home for me. This is where my navel string is buried. This is where all of my investments is made here in Grand Bahama. I just want to see what's better for my island.
If you know me, I'm not for sale. Ain't nobody could buy me. I will speak my heart, because at the end of the day, I have to sleep with myself. Others want to buy the Port Authority. Well, if the Port Authority doing so bad, why they won't buy it? The Port Authority has had its challenges, and I believe the Port Authority, like any other place, has had its busted bone.
Wallace, who's also a former member of Parliament, cautions government about the way they are handling the situation.
Man, you are the Prime Minister. You have the right to sit down with any investor, and there's got to be a way we can mutually agree or mutually discuss these things.
And as for whether he thinks the city of Freeport is better off 70 years later with the Hawksbill Creek Agreement.
Freeport was a well-planned city, and I think it could be duplicated in many of the other islands here in the Bahamas.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
And Cooper, who you just saw in that interview, shares more about his views on the city of Freeport and the ongoing debate during City in Focus, the story of Freeport, next Wednesday during the 7:30 newscast.
Coming up in sports, we get into the business of baseball with Anton Richardson, the Mingos cross-country season opener, and the Bahamas makes a move in international baseball rankings.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
My name is Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The business of baseball is a growing industry that Bahamians continue to explore. New York Mets first base coach Antoine Richardson said that while the game continues to progress on the field with Bahamians flooding the minor league pipelines, he hopes to see even more enter the industry at other levels, from coaching to the front office.
It's another path that people see as an opportunity to get into this window, right? And I think just like we see it sprinkled in before, like it was only a couple minor league baseball players. Now you have a lot of minor league baseball players. Now you got Josh Chisholm in the big leagues, and so now you have someone's on the field that's coaching. You have someone in the front office, and before long we'll have a GM, and maybe some of those rich guys in the Bahamas may be an owner someday, right? So I think just kind of creating paths for different Bahamians to do different things.
The University of the Bahamas Mangoes men's and women's cross-country teams got their international season underway. The men finished in 11th and the women were 6th at the 10th annual Florida Atlantic Invitational over the weekend in South County Regional Park in Boca Raton, Florida. The men's team finished with 325 points while the women scored 185 points. Both teams ran the 5K on Friday. Levon Joseph was the top competitor for the Mangoes and finished 68 out of 94 competitors in 19 minutes, 1.74 seconds.
Well, my goal was to run 17 minutes today. Unfortunately, I ran 19. It goes to show that you don't win every day. We also ran a little bit too fast the first mile. I would have wished that we paced it a little better and probably run like an average of 6 minutes. That would have get us like 18 minutes.
Among women, Nancy Joseph took the third spot for the team and was 73rd overall in 31 minutes, 31.35 seconds.
We have a lot of freshmen this year, so just to kind of get the first one out. But we will be stronger at our next competition.
Both teams are expected to compete at the Embry-Riddle Cross Country Invitational September 21 in Daytona Beach. According to the World Baseball Softball Confederation, the Bahamas is currently the fastest growing men's baseball program in the world. The Bahamas is now ranked number 47 on the latest edition of the WBSC rankings presented by Konami. They were also the top climbers of the period, rising 12 spots in the standings with 70 points. The last appearance for the senior men was the 4th Caribbean Cup when they finished 4th at the first tournament hosted at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. The tournament returns to the Bahamas in December for the 6th edition. The Bahamas Football Association is certifying a new group of coaches. Phase 1 of the CONCACAF C license coaching course was completed last week at the National Beach Soccer Stadium and the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. 14 coaches from various football clubs across the Bahamas participated in the event. The coaches will now enter a 3-month developmental phase monitored by BFA coaching educators, and final assessments will be conducted in November to officially acquire the CONCACAF C license. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. I have a fantasy draft to go to in about 10 minutes, but it's that time of year, so you all get it, right? Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight. Are you struggling to find hope or still unsure about your life's purpose? We'll tell you about a prayer and purpose-filled summit happening tomorrow night, and it's RTV's very own audio engineer leading the charge. And it was a hot September day in the capital, with more hot days to come. Greg is back in the Weather Center with what you can expect for the rest of the week when Our News returns.
I'm Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. Internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I right you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
My name is Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of
This is our news. Welcome back. Of course, the tropics getting a little active right now. We're watching 4 areas in the tropics. First, we'll take a look at the far eastern Atlantic. 2 systems that we're watching, monitoring right now. The first one approaching the Leeward Islands. Some showers and isolated thunderstorms associated with that. A little disorganized. And then, of course, the one behind that, the National Hurricane Center, watching that as well. Both of these systems, we're giving a low to medium chance for formation as it continues to move towards the west. This one will fizzle out, but the other one just behind, we will continue to watch that over the next couple of days. Into the Caribbean, this is the one that we were watching over the next several days. That's really getting its act together, but it's going to stay south of us, continue to move towards the west-northwest in the Caribbean. Should get into the Gulf of Mexico by the end of the week. And of course, there is another system in the Gulf of Mexico that the National Hurricane Center is watching as well. And of course, to the north of the Bahamas, that's the 4th system, the National Hurricane Center. All of them giving a low to medium chance for formation. Tropics getting a little active, and of course, we are approaching the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. Taking a look at the future forecast, some isolated showers expected with a frontal boundary that's basically stalled across northern Florida. So Grand Bahama, the Abacos, you guys will see a couple of isolated showers. Most of the activity will stay across Florida and into the Gulf of Mexico and well to the north of us. That's through Thursday, and by Friday, that line is just back towards the north slightly, but more showers expected in the forecast for the northernmost islands. Boating forecast, northwest Bahamas, we are putting a caution flag in for you guys along Atlantic exposures. We're asking you beachgoers to exercise caution as well for rip currents. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your high tide is at 9:36 at night. Low tide takes place at 3:52 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag for you guys. A straight easterly flow expected, 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here is a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, some isolated showers in the forecast Thursday and Friday, but that high pressure system will park itself across us. So we're looking at blue skies and sunny conditions. Temperatures will climb into the mid-90s. Heat indices will be approaching the 110-digit mark. So it's going to be a very warm and sticky weekend. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
And finally tonight, we are putting a spotlight on one of our own. Joey Butler, our top audio engineer, is on a purpose-driven mission with the Vault Kingdom Summit. Starting tomorrow, this 3-day event hopes to connect you spiritually through prayer. If you're struggling to find hope, Butler says join him and his wife for the first 2 sessions at Southland Cathedral on Soldier Road. Saturday's session will be at Church of God of Prophecy on Carmichael Road. And as for those still searching for purpose, Butler says the prayer summit could be the guide you need.
The summit is about building faith, building unity. It's about prayer, intercession. It's about understanding your call. And so we're going to have persons and ministers in from international platforms. We're going to bring persons in from local platforms who probably may known around the Bahamas. We're going to have people who are going to touch on some things as it relates to our faith, as it relates to our possibilities and understanding what we are called to do.
And Butler says the event is truly for everyone.
Anyone could, it could be elderly folks, it could be young folks. If you notice on the conference flyer, it has a lot of millennials on it. So more younger persons are going to be speaking at this conference, more people who you have not heard of. It's going to be on this flyer that has the call on their life.
Well, thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Marlena Leonard, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.